So the YouTube Golf Day preparations continue, and in this video here I'm going to take a little look at whether I'm maybe going to put a 3-wood in my bag or keep the trusty 2-iron in the bag. I'm thinking of a shot off the tee. Maybe if the driver's not performing on the day, I've got something to sort of fall back onto. Maybe that sort of tighter par 4, tight tee shot where I need to hit fairway and maybe sort of drop back. And I've just got a couple of options here to have a little go at. So I'm going to do that in this video. 2-iron against 3-wood. I'm going to see which I prefer the flight of, accuracy wise also, and maybe see which one's going to go in the bag for the YouTube Golf Day. So just before we jump into the video, if you want to come and attend the YouTube Golf Day, it's on Monday the 6th of May over in the UK at Formby Hall Golf and Spa Resort. If you'd like to come and attend, tickets are available. I'm going to put a link in the description down below. You must have a ticket to come and watch. You can't just turn up. All the ticket proceeds are going to go to the charity Prostate Cancer UK. Great charity, so we're trying to raise as much money as we can. Rick Shields doing a great job in promoting this. I think there's about £4,500 raised already. Obviously, we're going to really get that number bumped up as much as we can. So if you can attend, do fire some tickets down below on the link provided. Or if you can't attend but you'd like to maybe donate to this charity, again there's a link down there to donate also. So 3-wood or 2-iron. So many of you know, last year I went down to Ping and I got fitted for a G400 and they fitted me for a Stretch 3-wood. So it's a 13-degree 3-wood. Absolutely love the look of it. But as many of you know from my videos, I don't tend to put it in the bag just because I grew up without a 3-wood. It's never a club I've really felt 100% comfortable with, but I do love the look of this one. So it's sort of like I want to put it in, but sometimes when it comes to the heat of things, I'm a little bit debating whether to actually sort of do that and have the confidence to use it out on the golf course. 2-iron's always been in there for a long time and I feel really comfortable with this. So it may be a tough one to nudge out, but I'm going to hit some shots with both here, just off a small tee, because I'm thinking this is going to replacement for my driver, as I say, maybe those tighter par 4s. So I'm going to hit them both off the tee. We're going to look at some distance numbers, but we're going to look at some dispersion. That's the important thing. It's keeping that ball on that fairway for me in the YouTube Golf Day. You know, that's if I can keep on the fairway off the tee, I tend to score pretty well. So off the tee is going to be really key for me. So this is going to be definitely a backup from the driver. So just going to hit some off, as I say, a small tee, because as I say, this is going to be more of an off the tee replacement. So I want to get some numbers with it off the tee. So we'll start with the 3-wood first. Let's get this first one hit. It's a good strike, nice flight. Love the feel of the Ping G400. As I say, the look of it I think is beautiful. It sits really sort of square. Love the shape of it. Don't mind those turbulators at all. They don't bother me. I've got this in the Tour 75 in an X-Flex. So that's what Ping fitted me when I was down there at Gainsborough. And I've got it on obviously a mid-size grip to my hand size. So feel really comfortable with the look of it. Again, maybe as I strike it and my dispersion is sometimes what worries me a little bit with 3-wood. That's good. It's a great strike, lovely flight. Just like that right hand side, but again, feels really good. So that's getting out at 267. So happy with that as a number. Obviously, I'd like that to get that as far out as I possibly can, but you know, realistically, you know, getting out, you know, sort of carrying 250, 267, I'll take that on most holes. You know, I can clearly reach a lot of the par 4s from a tee shot for that sort of distance. So that doesn't sort of worry me too much. Maybe the only thing that does concern me a little bit with the 3-wood is the flight. It does tend to get a little bit higher on its actually flight than maybe what I'll see with that 2-iron. So maybe if it's a bit windy on that day, I like to maybe see that 2-iron come in a little bit more sort of low. It's a little bit more of that lower sort of chasing sort of shot, which I do like to sort of see. Okay, a little bit off the bottom, but it's flighted absolutely fine. Still got up there. Again, just fraction up that left side this time. That's nice. Yeah, that's lovely. Just, again, working on my technique there. that's where I feel I can get that handle, that video I did a while back, you know, trying to stop that overdraw left that I tend to sneak into my game. It feels when I pull that handle across the back of the ball and just try and hold that club face a little bit more, that just gets that really neutral flight. Just still trying to dial that in a little bit, which you probably just see where that dispersion just still has a little bit of a turnover and also just has a couple that just fade off. Okay, that was a bit of a heel one there. Wasn't the greatest strike, but it's flown out pretty straight there. Yeah, so lost a bit of distance there. Through strike more than anything, so 243. Okay, that was a nice one to finish on there. Really good strike, that last one. And there's that little bit more distance, and that's a long one for 3 wood, 283. Okay, so there's a batch of shots. I've got a nice little run in the middle of there, some really neutral shots. Tend to the strike to be either central to a little bit in that heel. When I hit that heel one, I got a little bit of a drop off of distance, which as you'd expect, but I didn't really lose too much accuracy. If anything, I just got that little cutty one, which I don't mind. Didn't really get anything going left, which is good because obviously that's what I've been working on with my sort of swing as well. So I'm going to switch into the 2-iron now. I'm going to hit 10 shots with the 2-iron and then we'll compare some numbers. Okay, so the trusty 2-iron, always been in my bag since I was a kid and probably will tend to stay in there. But as I say, I do like the look of that 3-wood and I quite like when I get it, it is a nice sort of flight. So look at this 2-iron, P790, it's the UDI. Okay, so they brought this out as a little bit of a limited edition. It didn't stay out for long. Then obviously Gapper came along and replaced it. So really a continuation of the P790 irons that we saw and obviously been very, very popular. Forged head, and it's got that more slimmer sort of look for a driving iron. Some of the driving irons you see obviously get chunked up, beefed up, a bit bigger at the back. You see a lot of the clubs sticking out the back of the head. This, you just see a tiny amount, literally a tiny amount. So definitely more of a slimmer iron appearance, but as it's hollow, it's obviously pretty forgiving. The shaft I've got in here is a Hazardous Black, which is a low spin, and a 6.5, which is X-Flex. Again, mid-size sort of grip. So what I found this against my old Shrixon driving iron, very much more of a penetrating ball flight, which again, I quite like. So again, I'm going to hit these off a little tee, as I would do out on a golf course. I'm going to hit 10 shots, and we'll see how this stacks up against that 3-wood. Okay, so not a bad opening shot, just pushed a little bit, just very neutral on its flight, but just up that right hand side. So straight away there I feel more comfortable. Obviously it's a club I'm used to, just with the looks, the length, and I just feel like I've got more accuracy with this type of club. Obviously with an iron we've got that flat face. When we get into a fairway wood, obviously like driver as well, and hybrids we'll get that sort of roll and bulge on there, so tend to see a little bit more, maybe shots starting more offline on the miss hits. That's a good strike. So definitely a lower, more penetrating flight. And that's pitching around that 240 and running around 256. So probably not too dissimilar to the 3-wood in all honesty. Again, strike will change those numbers a little bit more than anything else. Yeah, didn't quite get all of that. I was a bit toe, but very accurate. That's got to drop off a bit of distance. Yeah, so that's gone out 243. So a little bit of a drop off again, strike changing it, but it's accurate. I can take that. I miss hit like that. I find the fairway. That's absolutely fine. That's the key here. You know, when out on the golf course, is keeping that golf ball in place, and all about those absolute perfect strikes, perfect sort of launch and spin numbers. Realistically, when you're on the golf course, it's keeping that ball actually in play. Again, not a great strike, but it's straight. Again, dropped off a lot more. That was very heely. Just struggling with strike a little bit with the old trusty 2-iron at the moment. Three wood's looking pretty strong. Could be a favourite to maybe go in the bag here at this stage, but we'll carry on hitting some more shots. Ooh, so there's my left one. That is left. Wow. Okay. Two irons not looking so good here. Now, obviously it's more me there, but I didn't really get anything like that with that three wood. That's the one I just hate. It's a destructive shot and it does creep in. I'm trying, as I say before, trying my best to sort of try and work that path and face relationship there, but just not quite feeling with that three wood at the moment. Sorry, the two iron at the moment. Come on, let's feel that handle going left. Feel that hold off a little bit more. Try and keep that, neutralise that path and face relationship. That's better. Yeah, that's better strike, better flight there. Just that little cut there, don't mind that at all. That's hitting fairway a little bit better. 252, that was a better swing there from me. That's a good strike to finish on. Yeah, so definitely seeing a slightly lower trajectory as you probably expect through that iron against that fairway wood. But accuracy wise, two irons in trouble here I think. But let's go look at some numbers in a little bit more detail against that two iron and the three wood. As I say, numbers are important, but also my feel and my reaction and how I'm feeling with a golf club is also equally as important. Let's go and check some numbers out. Right, okay, so let's look at some numbers. So I've got G400 three wood on the top in the red and the averages along this line. And then as I scroll down, we've got the two iron in the blue with those averages underneath there. So let's look at the three wood first. So we've got an average of 154 ball speed, launching just under 10 degrees, spinning at 3,700. So a little bit higher on that spin, but there is some there where I caught a bit necky. So like that 4.4, 4.1, 4.2, you see those bigger, touching 4,000, those bigger spin numbers there, just a little bit on that Healy side is always going to pop those numbers up. But as I said, I'm not too worried about hitting a perfect, optimal spin number. It's like, where has that actually sort of landed? You know, I'm 12 yards right of centre of fairway, 2 yards right with that particular one, 18 yards right. That could be just hitting a semi-rough, possibly depending on the width of the fairway. So they're in play, aren't they? So I'm averaging at 5.5 to the right of target out of all those shots. Okay, but again, looking at my left ones in there, I've got one that's 20 yards left. So again, probably just into that semi up that left side, 13 yards left, that's probably left edge of the fairway. So no real disasters in there, which is good, because as I say, I don't always feel 100% comfortable with the three wood. Having said that, I do love the look of that G400. It's a club that I always want to put in there, but I just haven't got the confidence to actually do it. I always just opt for my safe option, which is my two iron. So carry distance there, 244 on average, 261. Decent number there. I'm happy if I could take that off the tee and get it in play. That's me covered for a lot of the sort of par fours, even some par fives, to be honest. So moving into that two iron. So we see the ball speed now drops off, so 146 and a half. So quite a big drop off of the ball speed. And to be honest, some poor strikes in there as well from me. Definitely more poor than I hit with a three wood. So 137 dropping off down to, that's an awful strike. So that launch at 7, so such a necky strike there. So launch angle just down a fraction there. Spin number just down a fraction, 3.5. Again, there's some higher numbers in there through my strike. Again, not too worried about that, because if it's accurate, I'm in play, aren't I? So I'm not massively concerned about hitting a perfect number, as I just mentioned before. So looking at offline here, see I'm averaging at 8.7 left, but let's look into deep here and those bigger misses. So see, I've got that 25 yard left, so that's a bit more into the rough up that left hand side. 33 left, that could be in trouble. 41 left there, that's possibly dead. Well, it probably is dead. You know, so 23 right, into that sort of right, semi-right, just touching to the right rough there. A few of the others are all right there, aren't they? But some bigger misses there compared to that three, which does surprise me. Two iron, I would always feel I'd be more accurate with a two iron. just the swings were as good there. Distance-wise, dropping off at 229, 248. Again, it's not massive, but if I can get that extra yardage but have the accuracy, that's a good thing, isn't it? Right, okay guys, so there we go. There's 3-wood against 2-iron, and some surprising results there through that dispersion. As I say, the dispersion is a key one for me. I want to keep that ball in play off the tee. Some holes around Formby Hall, it doesn't require a driver. Definitely more of a positional shot, maybe with that sort of 3-iron or that 2-iron. So surprise results there. I wasn't expecting that, but the 3-wood was much better on that dispersion. So at the moment, I'm going to have to do maybe more testing, take that actually to the golf course. But through that test alone, 10 shots with each club, which is a fair amount, that was pretty good. So and I didn't get that left miss, which is, I do like that. So at the moment, the 3-wood's a strong contender to switching in from the 2-iron. The trusty 2-iron, it could be curtains for you, unfortunately, mate, but it's been a good servant. But 3-wood was looking really good there. So again, I'm going to do more testing on that on the golf course, and I'm going to be doing a full what's in the bag for the YouTube Golf Day coming soon, probably just before the actual event itself. I'm going to do a little bit more sort of testing on a few bits, try to get my game, still working on my swing a little bit. So there'll be a full what's in the bag coming up soon, so obviously stay tuned for that video also. Okay, thanks so much for watching, guys. Appreciate watching as always. Let me know your thoughts down below. Comment 3-wood, 2-iron. What have you got in the bag, and what do you prefer, and maybe why? I'd love to hear your thoughts as always. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Share this video around, and also comment below, are you going to YouTube Golf Day? If you are, I'd love to see you, have a little chat, let's catch up. I'd love to meet you guys face to face. Obviously we always do it through comments and stuff like that, so face to face would always be great also. So hopefully see you then, and we'll catch up with you all very soon.